So there have been a couple of what appears to be leaks related to the Switch 2 over the past 2 days. I thought I'd look at both of those right now and give you my thoughts on whether I think these are legit or not. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And this first leak was making the rounds yesterday, and I first saw it over at the Gaming Leaks and Rumors Reddit page. And this seems to be the Joy-Cons for the Switch 2. Now the source of this is a Chinese video sharing site. I guess you could say it's sort of like YouTube, called Bilibili. And in this video you can see here where they've got sort of a blurred look at someone removing the Joy-Cons from the Switch 2. And you can see how it kind of just comes apart instead of slides up and down, which is what we expect, that the Switch 2 Joy-Cons will be magnetic, where the current Switch has that rail system where the Joy-Cons have to come up in order to come off the system. But in this video they also point out some images that are less blurry, although I feel like they could have done a little better job with the camera quality here, but we'll take a look at it anyway. And first you've got sort of the inside section of the Joy-Cons where you can see where it would connect magnetically, and I think those may be the buttons. I'm not real sure because again it's real blurry here. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. And then next we have the top face of the Joy-Cons. Again, these are really blurry because you can't even make out the labels on any of the buttons here. I really want to know on that right side what that square button has. I know we saw some mock-ups that sort of had a C or maybe a moon crescent on it. I'm not sure what that means just yet. But something else that was kind of interesting down at the bottom, you can see it more on the right, how there's sort of a black edge around. Many people are thinking that may be an IR sensor. Now the current Switch has an IR sensor just on that right Joy-Con, so this one appears to have it on both. Now this next picture shows what looks like a really big button that's sort of perpendicular to how you would hold the Joy-Cons, and most people are believing this is the release button for that magnetic system that holds the Joy-Cons onto the system. Now I don't think anything here that we've seen is new. I think we've seen most of these leaks before, but this sort of puts it visually. I think the only thing that I may not have heard before was the double IR sensors. But we've seen that large release button at the top of the Joy-Cons in that previous shell release that we now believe is most likely a prototype. Now as far as the source for this video, I do have a link to it in the description below. And from what I've seen, he doesn't seem to be a really well followed person on this website. The user's name translates into Mario68. And there's like 468 likes on the video, but the user only has 346 followers. So I'm putting this one into my grain of salt category. I don't think we got anything groundbreaking, but it is kind of neat to watch some of that blurred video of the Switch 2 Joy-Cons releasing from the system. Although I'm not sure why you would blur that when you're showing the entire Joy-Cons themselves. The only thing I can think of is that maybe this is just a mock-up. It's not the actual system, and by blurring it, you kind of obfuscate the fact that it's not real. Now there are also some translated comments on this video where the uploader here replies and basically doesn't believe that there'll be a reveal in January, that there's just not been enough production done on the system yet to be revealing in January and then to be releasing in March. So again, I don't know how much I trust this, but it's interesting to look at and maybe go back when the system actually gets revealed to see how close this actually was. Now the next sort of leak we have here comes to us from Alibaba, and it appears to be some accessories for what is supposed to be the Switch 2. Now I've seen this both on Alibaba.com and their Chinese counterpart, which is 1688.com. And I'm not going to go through all the pictures they have here, but we'll take a look at some of the most revealing ones here. First we have a look at a case here, and the most telling thing here on the top is obviously the huge Switch 2 logo. Now I can find mock-ups that are pretty close to this just doing a Google image search for Switch 2 logo, but there's a bit of a difference here. You can see the top of the 2 is sloped a little bit differently. And the product size is pretty close to what we would expect for the Switch 2. You've got 29.5 centimeters across. Just for comparison, the current Switch is 23.9 centimeters across. Now, one of the reasons why I'm still a little skeptical on this, not only with the logo looking pretty close to what we've already seen, but those dimensions fall in line with some of the current leaks that we already have for what the Switch 2 will be in size. So I do have to wonder if this is just a manufacturer trying to get their product out on the market first so that when the Switch 2 does get announced, people can go ahead and pick up their accessories before anybody else gets out there. And the other reason why this feels a little weird is they do show the inside of the case here, and you can see it looks like they sort of just photoshopped a Switch inside the case here. Now obviously if this is a legitimate product based off of the legitimate sizes that the company may have, they can't put a real Switch 2 in there, at least not yet. And you can see the manufacturer for the case here, and you can see from their website they do produce cases for other systems. They've got other Nintendo Switch and Switch OLED, as well as a PS Portal and PS5 case and VR Quest 2. So this is a company that makes cases for gaming products. But we also have another product that appears to be a screen protector for the Switch 2 compared to the current Switch. Now the reason why I'm a little more apt to believe this one is it does have the cutouts in the top that should be for the speakers. So that's more of a specific size that you're going to have to match for. And you can see the little cutout on the current Switch for the brightness sensor. Now there's not a similar cutout here on the Switch 2 screen protector. And this would sort of make sense. Currently the Switch OLED's brightness sensor is on top of the unit. So I would imagine they would do something similar with the Switch 2. Now while I would take this with a grain of salt, the fact that it does have the cutouts for the speaker lends a little more legitimacy. Now while we did have that prototype of the shell leak out, things could change since that was released. So I'm a little more apt to believe this is based off some actual information that came from Nintendo. But then again, this could just be some junk product that's not going to match up when the actual Switch 2 comes out. Again, we're not going to know for sure until we see the actual Switch 2 revealed by Nintendo. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I don't know if we really learned a whole lot new from these supposed leaks. Perhaps the biggest thing, if it is true, would be that Switch 2 logo. But I'm not totally trusting these sources, and I have a feeling this is not going to be the last thing we see until we finally get the official reveal from Nintendo. So I'll try to keep up with these, but I may just do these compilation videos where there's been a couple of leaks for a few days and just put them all in one, because I feel like some of these really we don't learn anything new. However, if there is anything groundbreaking, I'll try to go ahead and get a video out pretty quickly. But drop your comments on what your thoughts are below. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider doing so. It really does help out a lot. I'm pretty close to getting to 1,000 subscribers. At that point, I can get into the next tier of YouTube's partnership. So if you could help out with that, I'd really appreciate it. I want to thank you for watching, and be good.